All right, so we have started talking about the age of exploration. So this is when people were super excited and motivated to go exploring. And in this section, we're going to talk about why people were motivated, what motivated them. And there are really four things that we're going to talk about that motivated people. Three of which all started with G's. So you might hear me say the three G's sometimes, but those were the three big things. And then there was one other thing that was also a motivation. All of that will make more sense when I get into it. But I'm going to give you the Mrs. Guard version since we're all about G's today, right? So I'm not going to read every single word on here, but I'm going to kind of give you the gist, the important information that you need to know. So we know an explorer is a person who travels to find new things or to learn new things and go someplace that hasn't really been explored before. So exploring can be exciting, but it can also be very dangerous. And the early European explorers were motivated to explore for three main reasons. And those three reasons we wrap up in three words. That's God, gold, and glory. So first off, many early explorers began exploring new lands for religious reasons. They were focused on God. They wanted to spread their religion to new lands. Many of them felt that there was their duty to do so, meaning like they felt that they had to. This is what they were put on this earth to do, was to share and spread their religion. The Bible, or the Christian book of worship, taught its followers that they should go to the ends of the earth to tell about their faith. And Christians wanted to bring new people to the faith, meaning they wanted to introduce people to this faith and hopefully get them to join with them. And these people are called missionaries. And there are people still to this day that are missionaries that do this. At that time, Christianity was not the main religion in the world. For example, Islam was the main religion in the Middle East, the area between Asia and Europe. So they would have crossed through the Silk Road. A lot of people there were of the Islamic faith. Buddhism and Hinduism were also popular in Asia. So once they would have gotten to the end of the Silk Road, they would have met several people that were Buddhists or a part of Hinduism. European Christians wanted to spread their religion to the non-believing areas of the world, and exploring was the way to do that. So when I say God was a motivation, meaning they wanted to spread their religion. Explorers also traveled to new lands looking for gold. They wanted to become rich. They thought they could become wealthy by finding trade routes and bringing foreign goods back to Europe. So when we say gold, we're meaning they were looking for things to make them money. So it didn't mean that they were actually looking for physical pieces of gold. Sometimes they were, but they were mostly just looking for things that weren't available in Europe and that they felt they could make money on. This was kind of what we were talking about with the Silk Road, why people were going to Asia, because there were lots of things there. For example, spices were really popular in Europe. They were used to flavor food and for medicine. Some of these things were cinnamon, clove, ginger, and peppercorn. So things that we normally here now find common was not common during that time. These were things that were really only found in Asia. So the European explorers thought, if we can travel there, bring these things back, we can make a lot of money. However, traveling to Asia for spices was dangerous and expensive. We talked about, it was a long trip. There were those middlemen that were there. If they were traveling by sea, that came with all kinds of other dangers, right? So explorers wanted to find that water route, and they did, right? Portugal, we talked about Prince Henry last time. Prince Henry was able to help find an all-water route to Asia, but it was still dangerous. But that was a big motivation, and we can see that a lot, right? Gold, money, wealth motivates a lot of people to do a lot of things, and the explorers were no different. Also, a real quick fact, mercantilism is the idea that there is only a certain amount of wealth to go around. Every country wanted to be the wealthiest, so they all competed against each other. Finally, third, explorers, this is our last G, right? Hoped to gain glory, and glory means to be honored or recognized for important successes. So what we kind of now think of being famous, right? Some explorers wanted the fame for themselves. They wanted to be remembered for their discoveries they made and for the lands they bravely traveled to. Other explorers had a deep love for their country, and they wanted to bring glory or fame to their country. So not even necessarily to themselves, but they wanted their country to be known for that. And they wanted to claim land for their country to control and have power over. So that last G, glory, just meaning fame, right? Either for themselves or for their country. So those are the three G's, right? God, spreading religion, gold, meaning becoming wealthy or rich, and glory, the fame. But there's one other motivation that does not start with G that did motivate some people. And that was just excitement, adventure. Some people wanted to go exploring only because it sounded fun. It sounded exciting. And during this age of exploration, it was the Renaissance. And the Renaissance, we talked about last time, was a time when people were very excited about learning new things. And they wanted to explore the world around them. So a lot of people just thought, this sounds really exciting. I'm going to jump on a ship. I'm going to go someplace people may have never been before and find and meet all kinds of new people, learn new things. That just sounded so exciting for them. That in itself was enough motivation. So what you guys are going to do now is you're going to head to the next page, and we're going to do some more main idea practice with this reading that we just did. You have access to this video if you need to listen to it again, or you can read the article on your own.